Hi everyone, welcome to the December Wellbeing series. And if you've been staying along with my channel, you'll see that I released a video a day to help people stay grounded and learn some tools that will support them as we move through what can be one of the most busiest times of the year. So, what we're going to look at today. So, we've finished most of December and we're now thinking about how to close the year with clarity and enter the end of the year and 2026 grounded. Okay, so this is going to be in 3 parts, so you can switch off from each part or you can do the whole thing together if you've got a bigger batch of time. So, welcome back to this grounded holiday series. And as we are moving into the final days of December, in a quiet, powerful space, hopefully, where reflection meets renewal, that time that we have between Christmas or the holidays and the new year can be a bit flat, or we can be moving back into our own space, going back to work, or just having a really good rest after a really busy period of moving around and traveling. So this is the moment of the year where we can pause before we get to New Year's Eve. Okay. And you can use this thinking at any point after Christmas when you've got some time, half an hour or an hour to yourself. So create a nice space, light a candle, go somewhere that's warm, that you won't be disturbed. And let's have a look at the 5 themes that we'll cover. So if you want to press pause until you get into that nice space, then do so. So the 5 themes are: what you're most proud of, setting intentions, journaling to reflect, New Year affirmations, and how to carry your lessons forward. So part 1, what you're most proud of this year. Take a breath and bring awareness to your heart. Ask yourself softly, what am I most proud of this year? Your answers don't need to be big. It doesn't need to impress anyone. It just needs to be true. Some people really struggle to even think of that, so give yourself a chance. So perhaps you survived something really hard, tried again when you wanted to give up, healed an old wound, left a situation that drained you, set boundaries that protected your space, stayed kind when it wasn't easy, started something new, or simply kept going. I'm going to share some of the amazing things that some of my clients have done that I think, if they're not proud of this, then they need to be, because of the effort and mindset it can take sometimes. So 2 clients who were going through some really tough times, one in a relationship and one struggling with the demands and the pressure at work, who both had previous histories. One is a past alcoholic and has been clean for quite a while, quite a few years. And the other had only given up properly for good about a year earlier. And not only given up at a time where one was in a very toxic relationship and had to also make the decision to leave that because realized how toxic it was on him. And the other was in a very high pressurized job with lots of responsibility and continued to do that whilst giving up something that for a long time helped them believe was helping them through. I have another client, a lady who was in and out of a toxic relationship, kept on going back around that cycle, and slowly over time realized how self-centered and uncaring the person that she was with, and how much time and energy she was investing in that relationship, and how much that was draining from her entrepreneurial skills. And since leaving that relationship, has slowly built her life back up and is living in more peace and flow. Did they experience joy? Yes, they're starting to experience more joy and more happiness. Do they have days where they get depressed and feel like giving up, or the old idea of going back to something that was so familiar draws them towards it? Yes. But something that they massively need to be proud of. For other people, it could be that you've helped an elderly parent or you work as a carer and you've just been so loving and kind. I've got a friend who works with older people who are at the end of life, and she just gives them a lot of joy and happiness and love and care and concern while she works with them. It emanates from her. She doesn't outwardly express it, doesn't wait for external validation, but knows that this is just something that's so important to her. Um, Other clients are dealing with chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. And so the feat for them sometimes is just not feeling utterly exhausted all the time, but also being kinder to themselves, shifting their mindset about the programmings of we're lazy, um, you should be doing more, you should be working out, and all the unwarranted often advice that we get or give when someone's going through something like that. Although you might set a few boundaries that were really difficult. Another client had a narcissistic mother who just expected her to do anything she wanted whenever she wanted to give it time to something. And my client was really struggling to know how to do something she wanted to do on a day that often is given to her mum. And so we looked at how she can still spend that time with her if she wants, but how she can reboundary that time and stop feeling the frustration and resentment that builds up when we don't honor ourselves, our needs, and our boundaries. So I've got lots of examples of where clients have been in really dark, difficult situations where either psychologically it's messed with their heads, emotionally it's screwed them around, physically it's been difficult because it affects your energy. All aspects, different things in our life affects everything else. If a relationship's not going well, and it's not just the odd hiccup, but it's slowly gone down the drain, or work is massive stress and you're not getting any support, anything that we do in one part of our life invariably affects other aspects of our life. So I want you to acknowledge that. If you've been on your own a lot and moved and had to learn to make friends, joined a meetup group, and faced your anxiety and fear and got out and about and even started a new course, well done to you. And I've got other clients who put so much pressure on themselves to be constantly learning and growing in this phase of development that they had to learn how to rest and sleep well and just nurture their body and stop pushing so hard. So it's different for everybody. And I want you to work out what is the thing that you did, or it's several things even. So if I give an example of my own year, so I'm having to reflect back what I was doing. So I got the camper van a couple of years ago, but I'd really wanted to do much longer trips. And by May or June, I was really considering going to Wales in August and Scotland in September. And it felt like they were the time periods to go, that otherwise I'd miss 6 months. And it was a similar feeling to what I'd had when I was deliberating in 2019 after having a car accident, being in a lot of pain and really struggling to get out and about and do day-to-day tasks, of paying to do a yoga retreat or even a yoga teacher training. And I was talking like, I think the accident was in March and the training was in late October. So theoretically, I thought I should be healed and sorted and back to my usual self to do that. And then it was a case of, where do I do it? Where do I want to go? And I started to feel this anxiety about going to all these different places. I could go to Bali or India, but I'd had an accident. I didn't want intense yoga. Anyway, I found I've always liked Ibiza, and I signed up to a course in Ibiza, not knowing how I was going to feel 6 months later. And that decision that I took, I questioned it a few times and thought, oh, maybe I'll do it next year or maybe the year after. But actually, when I finished my yoga teacher training, just a couple of months later, the world shut down and we had the global pandemic. And I haven't flown since. So I wouldn't have maybe gone to Ibiza. I don't know if she's still running the same course. So sometimes there are doors that open and windows of opportunity that are there that we can really deliberate on. And I deliberated on that. And actually, it was an amazing experience. I was really anxious. I was anxious about traveling. I was still in a lot of pain. By this stage, I had really bad sciatica, but I spoke to the teacher. She knew my circumstances. She was cool about it. And even when I got there after a few days, I just thought, I'm just going to treat it as a retreat, eat good food, be by the sea. And I was really glad that I made that decision. But fast forward, now in 2023, 24, and 25, I've been able to go out and book myself and go to festivals to teach. And that raised anxiety and fears and concerns. But when I actually did it, walked in the room, and everything's an experience and data we get from that experience as to whether or not we'll do it again. It was absolutely amazing. And I was really glad I did it. So with the camper van, I've drove a car, never drove a van. And I hadn't stayed anywhere really in a van, hadn't stayed in a van at all until I bought this. Hadn't ever really camped when I was growing up. And I've done quite a few trips over 2024 and early this year around the Kent coast, the South Coast, Cornwall and Devon, and really wanted to see Wales. And I'd not been to South Wales. And so I decided that I was going to go on a trip, and I can work on the road anyway, so I was still working a little bit, and stop off at these different places, mapped it out. And I'm so glad I did. It was brilliant. And occasionally I got really fatigued because I've still got the overhang of burnout from previous times. And other times it was just great going to museums, being by the coast, spending time in Tenby, Pembrokeshire, Cardiff, went Newport, Mumbles, Fishguard, St David's. Absolutely love the cathedral there. So it was great. And it really opened up. What I've always been interested in is social history and history in general of religion and class system and all the other thing that's imbued in that. If you listen to my other videos, you'll know more if you look at the changing spaces category. So Scotland trip, same thing, approached it, looked at where I wanted to go, where I wanted to stop off on the way because it's a big drive. And my aim destination was to get to the island I hadn't been to since I was, I don't know if I was 11, maybe 11, but I'd been up there when I was about 8 as well. So a long time. And hadn't really had much connection with the Scottish side for a long time either, but had in the recent years. And the idea about going got stronger and stronger. And then I got the van, and the idea about going in the van, and one part of my brain was saying, no, that won't happen. That's too far. What if something happens? All the anxious thoughts that we get. And the other part was like, just go for it. But the Scotland trip was very different to the trip in Wales. Wales was hot. We were in 25 degrees. It was just beautiful weather, sitting by the beach, exploring, touring. And the moment that I left where I lived to go towards, we went London and then went Cambridge and then Norfolk and then up the East Coast. It was rain, 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 flooding, and then sunshine, sunshine. In Whitby, 3 days of sunshine. In York, poured down one day, sunny the next day. Absolutely poured down. Roads were flooded, rivers were flooding. Carlisle, poured down one day. Cathedral was great. It was just this complete mix of an emotional roller coaster. And then the fan started breaking down and wouldn't start, and I had to jump start it and all of that. But I'm glad I faced the anxiety. My resilience has gone up a lot higher, and I'm really happy that I took those decisions. And so I can reflect back on what were the things that I was anxious about, that I struggled to comprehend whether it would come into fruition. And actually, I landed on the island on the exact day that I wanted to be there to celebrate in memory of my mum passing. And it was the day that she passed, and I wanted to be on the island by that day, and did. And so that felt like a real achievement. And all the videos that I've created that I share for free on YouTube, the level 1 series of Change Grow, I started that. I got into that. I liked recording that and the ideas of putting that. I've got a couple of clients who've done the whole program now. They follow 1 video a day. Then I did level 2, which is adding more topics. And then I decided to do this December series. And in that process, realized how much more I enjoy doing the creative moments. So that gives you an example of where I'm coming from with this. So sit with whatever comes to you. Pause the video now, take some deep breaths, and just tune in. Pride's not arrogance, it's self-respect. Honor what you personally know that you found difficult or didn't even know was coming around the corner, and you managed not only to do it but achieve it. And even if that was wrapping presents much more neatly than you ever do, or cooking the turkey for the first time, normally someone else cooks that. So this is about recognizing everything you carry. This supports our self-esteem and our confidence moving forward, so that if we set intentions and goals, as many people do, we've got to set realistic ones. We take that steam of that self-esteem and that confidence with us, and that creates the fuel. So every time we think, oh, this is getting a bit difficult, we go, no, remember in March when that happened, and August when I did that, and actually I got through and I burst through the resistance and the walls and the anxiety. So think about everything that you've learned and everything that you chose to rise above. So take a moment to honor yourself. So, excuse me, pause the video, check the sound's still working. Pause the video, take a few breaths, ground yourself, as I teach in all my videos now. Ground, breathe in, take your awareness down to your feet, feel your feet rooting, pull your energy in. Imagine that you're clearing the static, the noise, let go of the thoughts and the distractions, and go off, pause the video, and think about what you've done well. And we'll move into part 2 in a moment. So part 2, preparing for the new year, setting intentions. Now let's gently turn towards the year ahead. Okay, make sure you're giving yourself enough time for part 1. You really you can draw a timeline of the past year. I get clients to do it for the past 10 years or since they left school, of all the things that you did well. You did a presentation, you had a difficult conversation with your boss, you admitted that you didn't do something that didn't work, you split up with a person that you didn't want to let go of, but it was really toxic and you realized that, or you started putting your focus on money management, you got better at that, and you've actually saved, a few quid in comparison to what you normally do. So really allow yourself to milk that and revel in that, and write that down in your journal so you've got that. So if you can start a new journal, as this is the prep for the the scene you want to set, the reality you want to create, and the tone in which you want to be in, okay, do that now. So instead of resolutions, which often come from pressure or perfectionism, we set intentions that come from your alignment and truth. It's a word we're using a lot now. It's becoming a bit of a buzzword, alignment and truth, but that just basically means what honors you, what you really feel. Okay. So ask yourself, how do I want to feel in 2026? Sounds simple. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel more joy, more happiness, more abundance, more resourcefulness, have more clarity, have more confidence, better decision-making skills, feel more peace, more calm? And you can have all of those because we go through these, excuse me, emotional cycles. What energy do you want to bring into the new year? So even if things might have gone a bit pear-shaped at any point over the year or in December, this is about standing in your own power, your own authenticity. What do you want to bring into the new year? So, for example, I like adventure, curiosity, excitement, joy, wonder, ease, flow, peace, harmony, friendship, connection. Uh, they're the key things, okay? And they might be values as well. So consider that. Okay, so each time I ask you a question, pause. How do you want to feel in 2026? Numerology wise, it's a 1 year. 9, this is a 9 year in 2025. 9 is about endings, letting go of things that no longer work. 2026 is completely fresh energy. Okay, it's a 1 year, it's new beginnings. What do you want to feel? So even if you haven't got all the things you want, or you haven't got your vision board becoming into reality, how do you want to feel? Imagine that you're driving, feeling that freedom. Imagine that you're walking and hiking up those mountains and feeling in awe when you're looking at nature, or hearing the waves rolling in and just feeling this sense of awe and wonder. And I've been immersing myself so much in those experiences that it's easier for me to tap into. When we get stuck in the noise and we constantly scroll and we've got all this, we can feel bombarded, we feel our energy slip, we start to feel flat, stagnant, or bored, or just not right. So we have to shift out of that state. Either sleep more, drink more water, get out and walk, get out and visit somewhere new. Now ask, what do you want more of and what do you want less of? So it might be that you want more free time, less time given to work, more quality sleep, more nutritious food. So we're not saying I'm going to eat nutritious food, I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to work out 3 times a week, and I'm going to do this. We use the word more because it gives the brain this message that we're doing it to a degree, but we're just improving on our previous version. So what do you want more of? And then what do you want less of? So you want less drama, less arguments, less time with people that you don't resonate with anymore. You want less of the aspects of work that you don't like. You want to bring in more of the aspects that you do like. So again, pause the video if there's what you want more of and what you want less of. Give yourself some time for each of these questions that I will also put below the video. Write them in your journal, because now this gets the brain moving into forward focus thinking. And if I was practicing NLP with you, I'd be drawing a timeline. You'd have a timeline maybe of your past there. Not everyone has it in the same place. And then a timeline of the future going out forward. And you place yourself in the present here. In this present now, I feel, I generate these feelings. So the last exercise should be, I generate feelings of happiness and peace and relaxation, and I feel really good with myself because I know that this was an achievement for me, rather than waiting for that to be validated. And then I project into the future of allowing myself to believe the possibility that life can feel different. Are there going to be ups and downs? Yeah, potentially. Are there going to be challenges? Yeah, potentially. Are there going to be things that need fixing? Yes. Are there going to be days when you can chill out with your friends and have a laugh? Yes, why not? So you visualize the kind of future you want. This is working on the neural pathways in the brain. If you find that your brain now is saying, as I'm talking, yeah, right now, yeah, just what you're going to lose, what's going to happen if you allow yourself to believe that much more is possible, that you can just feel better, healthier, happier more of the time. Now think, so pause, okay, and then ask yourself, if there's one thing you could change, one small habit that would support you deeply, what would it be? So I'll give you some examples. I love sitting up till really late, usually about 12 o'clock. But sometimes it takes me a while, if I'm wired, to then go to sleep. And I've started waking up early again. So now I try and slow things down and get to sleep as my body is naturally closing down, and get into bed and in my room as I'm closing down before trying to go to sleep. That makes a difference to the quality of sleep and the cycles that we go through in our sleep experience. I might still wake up during the night. That doesn't happen as much at the moment, but I'm going through these different cycles. The other habit might be you've learned that eating bread or wheat isn't good for you, so you reduce that, because the more you reduce it, the more clean your diet gets, the more you notice the effect that something has on you. So just think about what small habit that if you made a slight shift to would make a big difference. The bigger habits like drinking too much, smoking too much, these groups my colleagues have gone to, and they've been massively supporting to them, whether it's Al-Anon, whether it is Narcotics Anonymous, whether it is joining a local church group, whether it is joining a spiritual group, whether it's doing sound healing, Reiki, massage, music therapy, art therapy, CBT, regardless, choose the next step. That's it. You don't have to work out what's the best. You just work out what you're most drawn to right now. I've gone through this phase so many times and learned so many different things, but I tap into all of them in some way now. I tap into my yoga, into CBT, mindset work, NLP, trance work, hypnotherapy, music. I tap into all of it because I love all of it. So when you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, it makes up a lot of who I am. So think about that, what that is, and write your notes. And then intentions. We can set intentions, and we can do that quietly. We don't have to tell everyone else. Or if you've got a good group of friends, you might say, I'm setting the intention to set my alarm 3 times a day and sit in mindfulness for 5 minutes. I'm setting my intention to make sure that on a Monday morning, I get up and do all the jobs that I need to do so that my mind is free so I can be creative. Or I set my intention to take the dog for a walk on a regular basis in the evening instead of set small achievable goals. What's that acronym they used to use in project management? No, I'm not going to use that. So choose one guiding word or theme: peace, clarity, confidence, trust, expansion, ease, joy, healing, or abundance. Or more, another one. Let that word become your anchor. And one of the things I was saying to one of my clients earlier is, if you buy yourself a nice journal, or you've been to visit somewhere, as I did. So I went to St. David's in Wales. And as you can see on there, you've got the cathedral and all the things that represent all the imagery to do with that. So when you buy yourself a journal, you can get a plain backed one, hardback, and you can paint it, colour it, stick stickers on it. But it's to do with something that when you look at it, sparks a sense of joy. It might be the picture of your children when they were babies, or really special times in your life. So my next journal, and I've actually created my own journals, which I'll show you. This is one of my journals on Amazon, and it's basically blank pages. I don't like lines. This is my other journal on Amazon. I've got a hardback journal, and I created these because I use journals a lot. There's another one that's on Amazon. These are paperback, but there is one hardback, and I can't show you. It's similar to this, but it's black, and it's got slightly different activities on it. And I designed this because it's got the scape of London. I love cities, but don't always want to live in there. It's got yoga flow, my photography, yoga there, my headphones, and friendships. So they symbolize the things that give me joy. So you can buy a journal and color it how you want, or you can choose a journal. But if you color it in while you're in this mindset, you now create a deep connection with the journal. And so every time you pick it up, it helps you connect with your intention of what you want to bring in. You can even write words: peace, clarity, confidence, trust, expansion, ease, joy, hope, whatever you want to write. Okay, so decide what word is your anchor. And if you want to leave any comments under the video, do so, or send me a separate email. All the links are below, or even book a session if you want to go further on how you do this. So take some time out before you follow step 3, which I will do in a moment. So in the previous step, I was looking at how you use your journal to reflect and plan ahead. So the journal is a bridge between you of who you were this year, whichever journal, and who you are becoming. And you can get these kind of things if you're into the spiritual stuff, the chakra covers, you can get oracle covers, you can get science covers, whatever it is that means something to you. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 powerful prompts to guide your reflection. So pause after each prompt, play some relaxing music, and have the space to yourself. And at the end, there'll be some things to also to consider. And this leads us in to the final moments of 2025. So if you've got this far, brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I've learnt loads by designing this, doing this, recording this, and also working with clients who also do it. It's been so interesting and a lot of fun to do. So, number one, what did you learn this year? Ask about yourself, others, life, patterns, needs, and desires. So, when it comes to needs, let's look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs: water, sleep, love, housing, resources. Okay, so where have you met your needs, but what did you learn about your needs? And the next set of needs might be love, care, connection. So in the Human Givens Institute, they talk about the human givens that we have. So it's higher than Maslow's hierarchy of needs, in that we need to connect. And a lot of people are either introverts or shy, spend a lot of time working at home. So we need to make time to text people, to respond to the texts in good time, not necessarily texting every minute of the day. Spend time meeting up with people that mean something to us, going on trips and adventures and enjoying that fun with the people who also enjoy those things. It's also about time alone, time in nature, spiritual time with yourself. What about the patterns that you saw emerging? Because often different things we experience can trigger the same pattern. I'll do probably a video more on patterns, but also about life. What did you learn? Did you shift perspectives? I was listening to quite a lot of podcasts this year, and it shifted my perspective in so many different ways. Um, I've got a much wider understanding about what happens to the body to do with sugar and insulin, because I listen to a lot of those podcasts, that I started to tweak my diet even more, thinking about myself in midlife and what's going on in my body and how hormones dissipate, estrogen, progesterone, how that affects mood and sleep and all of that, and wanting to function at my optimal. Um, Also, listening to real a podcast at the moment, forgotten his name, melancholic. I'll put it in the link below, and he talks about the reality of, the deeper stuff, like how society's been created in the Western world, and the sort of mythology and illusions that we've bought into, as well as some of the patterns that hold us there, like our attitude about money. We must work hard. You must work harder. Lying on your sofa for more than half a second is lazy. Rest is for the wicked. All this kind of programming. So, what did you learn about that? And then what do you want to leave behind? Like I was talking previously, but this takes it deeper. Leave behind thoughts. It's a challenge, but it's workable. Habits, bad habits that don't work for you. Relationships with people that you just feel drained with. Not just the occasional difficulty that sometimes a relationship will go through, but a real one that really can drain. Overwhelm, being in a constant state of overwhelm that no longer fits the person you're becoming, because you want to feel more peaceful, more joy, more happy. Then what do you want to carry forward? Okay. So strengths, insight, boundaries, values, joy, creativity, and courage. And I normally go a lot deeper into this with clients when I meet them one-to-one. But anything at all you want to carry forward, it goes back to that. What's been working? Whatever you do, notice how you feel before you do it and then after you do it, and see whether you feel elated, happy, peaceful, expanded, or whether you feel like you're restricted, oppressed, flat, or edgy, or even on eggshells, things like that, or even scared and fear. And that's how you start to tease through what's working for you and what isn't. And ask in the morning each day as you approach the new year, what is one thing I can do today that supports the life I'm creating? So lots of people on all sorts of different podcasts say that we do these micro steps. So one thing that you do each day. So today I might have done yoga, I might have had a smoothie, I might have eaten more protein, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm realizing I'm not eating enough protein, and I need to change the way that I have what food at what times of the day. So I'm going to do that, because that supports me in feeling in flow. I've got clarity. I've not got a foggy head that you can get if you've got a thyroid disorder. So what's one thing that supports the life that you're creating? You want more freedom. How do you open up more time? How do you release yourself from things, people, places, spaces that no longer serve you, so that you're releasing yourself up for more time? So those small things become incrementally big shifts. So this final part is around affirmations for the new year, for your fresh start. So pause this while you do the other work, and you can revisit. I would encourage you to revisit this at least 3 times, okay? The set of these stages with your journal, and rewrite and then compare what you wrote previously. Because as you evolve, it's really good to capture what you're now thinking in the moment, which might be the same or different to what you were thinking before, depending on the processes that you're experiencing. So let's anchor now your new beginning, and with the intention, build affirmations. So say these. You can copy these and save them, record them in your phone. Okay. I welcome new opportunities with confidence and grace. I'm worthy of the life I am creating. I release what no longer serves me. I trust the path is unfolding for me. I step into 2026 with clarity and strength. After each one, take a breath and let it settle into your nervous system. Imagine that the words are floating into your body, into your nervous system. These affirmations aren't just words, they're invitations, alignments, and quiet agreements with yourself. So remember, as you step forward into the new year, it isn't about reinventing yourself. It's about honoring what you're becoming and become. It's about choosing what you want to do and how you want to grow next. So again, ask, what did this year teach me about myself? What patterns am I ready to dissolve now? What wisdom am I taking with me into 2026? A lot of us have some amazing wisdom, and we should be sharing that with other people. Not opinion, wisdom. How can I support the future version of myself starting today? Keep asking yourself that. Put that in your journal. Write it on a note. Put it on your desk, on the top of your laptop, on a sticky note. You don't have to have anything figured out to start with today. Go with that feeling of what feels good, what you're open and expansive to, and heal and deal with the emotions that arise from when things aren't going so well, when it's tricky, when you're dealing with family members or friends or situations that are difficult to deal with, make you feel sad or bad, but allow yourself to move through that quickly. It's not about spiritual bypassing, gaslighting, anything like that. It's just about feeling it, breathing through it. Feel your emotion, breathe in and out, and imagine that it just passes through your body. And then say the affirmations again. You just need some willingness, awareness, or one step at a time. You're doing great. You're doing beautifully. You're perfect as you are. Okay. But we just want to grow and evolve as humans. It's natural. And it might just be that there's one small shift for the whole of January. That's great. That works. So imagining now that you're entering this next chapter with far more strength, clarity, wisdom, and for me, definitely more resilience. And thank you for walking through this door with me. And whether it's been on the December journey with me, or any of the level ones, the level twos, any of the podcasts that I've done. Thank you to all my subscribers and anyone that's listening to this at all, wherever I post it on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Shorts, wherever. My own goal is always about empowerment, about creating a life that you love. And a life that you love can feel like it's over here, and where you are can feel over here. But these small steps, slowly, incrementally, take you towards that. Sometimes it's big leaps, like taking an AI course and learning how to set up a business for yourself. We can do things from our sofa now that there's no way we would have done that a decade ago, let alone our parents. You know, whether that is drop shipping, or starting a milk round, creating t-shirts. Is there a creative spark in there? that also is flickering at the moment they need to give more attention to. My spark, if you listen to my other videos, started in 2016 when I wanted to write a blog, which was interesting for someone who's got some level of dyslexia to try and write a blog. It was painful. I still occasionally write blogs, but I found a better method over. It's taken me, it's quite a while now, isn't it? 9 years. Wow. Can't believe 9 years on a 9 year cycle, entering into one next year. And I only started doing Zoom online in 2020 when I was working at a university, and then started sitting on the sofa with Zoom, started working with clients again, one-to-one in 2023, online all around the world. Started working at festivals in 2022, 23, 24. So these steps, 2016, I was not a yoga teacher, not thinking about it, not designing journals, not ever thinking about doing anything online. I mean, before, I don't know what we were using. I think we had to have fairly sophisticated equipment. Towards 2019, I had inklings of, well, maybe shall I train? Shall I do yoga teacher train? I don't know. Can I do that? Am I too old? I'm not model shape anymore. Shall I do that? I did it. Did I know I was going to go on Zoom and hold lots of meetings and then run programs around well-being? No. Each step takes us towards the next one. And as we aim to do more of what we enjoy and love, regardless of whether it's work or outside of work, the more and more we're going to attract that. I've got a client at the moment that's really opening up in this way, and it's beautiful to witness. She's just been following and doing things that are creative, and her friendships are building, and she's just doing more and more of these things that just has more joy and happiness. And she was in a state of chronic fatigue and stress and depression for several years. Okay, so it's possible for pretty much all of us. And I know that some people are going to go, no, you don't know what you're talking about, Mel, or you don't know what it's like, the cost of living, da 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 da. Okay, but a lot of this stuff we can do for free. We can shift our mindset. We can, with very small amounts of money now. If you listen to Simon Squibb on Instagram, Diary of a CEO, he was interviewing someone the other day that talked about what you do if you had a few £100. What would you do if you had £1,000? And how you could, and just listening to that can give you ideas, or it can help you rethink the idea that you've got. If you've always wanted to be a chef, go and work in the kitchens, move up slowly, go through the ranks. So this is about now opening up to the idea of, can you have your dreams? Can you go towards what you want? The bigger things. Start with small steps. Start with a nudge. Start with where you are. Exactly. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this journey that I've been on. I've no idea how many people listen to, whether it's the same people listening to the same videos, or whether it's a wide range of people listening to it, and whether they listen once or multiple times. But I'm going to hold some workshops in January. If you would like to join me on a workshop in January to build on what I'm talking about here, I want you to email me, melgbb555@hotmail.com. I'm going to make this related to income. It's related to the income that people get. And I'll hold so many spaces for people on low income and those that can afford more to join on this journey with me. So if you want to do that, do email me. I need your name, your country. So I look at time zone, and what in particular stood out for you in any of my videos, but in particular this one. And what is it that you would like help to grow and evolve? Okay, I can do one-off sessions with people, so you don't have to sign up to me. I can do kickstart sessions, which is 3. I can do a 6-week, a 12-week plan. I rarely work with people for more than 12 weeks, but if I do, I'm helping them on a much longer journey, and sometimes in their small businesses. So again, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, press the bell, and contact me if you want to work with me privately or join me on the workshops that I'm going to be doing in January. There'll be a day and an evening so I can look at different time zones. But I wish you the best for the coming year. Remember to bring with you and harness what felt great, what you did well, everything that worked out. Yes, we've made mistakes. Yes, we have regrets. Being human took me a long time to agree with this, because I didn't want that it's messy. We make mistakes. We F up.
We do some things great. We don't always get the acknowledgement and validation when we should from all the effort we put into things. My goodness, I've done loads of things over the years that just slipped through people's radar, but I did it because it mattered to me, and I acknowledge and validated that myself. So maybe we will meet at some point somewhere. But I hope you enjoyed listening to this, and I hope you enjoy continuing to write in your journal. If you'd like to discover journaling more and you'd like to do a workshop on that, I've got those as well. If you want to do more around actual well-being, I am going to be running some podcasts with a few people that I met in the summer that I've been felt inspired to contact again to look at nutrition, everyday nutrition, diet and exercise, not fad wise, but what can we, as part of these small steps, implement in our day-to-day life. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, and yes, have a great season, and wherever you are in this journey, I wish you well, send you blessings, and if you're on your own, and enjoy all the moments of when you've had the good times with the people and the places and the things you've seen. Get out the pictures, get out the memories, have the nostalgia, but also think about what is important for you, your needs, and everything moving forward next year. Thank you.